Hello? Hello? There we go. Okay. So, um, we're watching Organized Chaos. Let's just put aside, all the stuff I feel about him, all the stuff that I saw they did, from, all the other videos that other people done on him, like Alistair Heckon and EFAP, obviously. Critical Drinker. Let's just put aside all the people going to here, not thinking about all that stuff. Let's just watch. Okay. This is gonna be more like a what if I'm a new person coming into a channel? This video. What do you think? Critical Drinker's weirdly insecure Oscar rant. Did I did he make one? I don't know. Well, let's watch it.
Hey guys, I need you to do me a favor. Help me fight the algorithm. Go ahead and hit like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon for new notifications. Thank you. That's Critical Drinker. Using the word woke plenty of times. But hold on, let me I
don't like using word woke myself, but if you're going to use the word woke, define your terms. What does it mean for you? You know?
To cover the Oscar stuff, and he did an Oscar video. So let's go ahead and break down some more Critical Drinker before we move on. Because 2024 has Hollywood finally been humbled. And I do think it's interesting because lots of chuds seem to go off on the John Cena bit where he was
calling people chuds right out of the gate. I don't know what a chud is, but you're like poisoning the well. Poisoning the well.
Was naked, which was, by the way, a joke. He presented the Oscar for Best Costumes.
There, you look beautiful.
And the Oscar goes to?
They're coming straight in. Trust me, I've got nothing.
Maybe I should play the value.
Poor things. How
are you? Well,
that's the joke. He couldn't get a costume.
It's not a very good joke, right? It's a joke. Maybe bring up what Critical Drinker says.
A lot of them seem to be like, "Oh my God, they're like, I don't know, like showing men as vulnerable or something." And it's like,
well, if you bring up the video, you could hear what he says.
It's literally just a silly joke, and you guys are so offended by it. But anyways, let's see what his take is.
Okay, that's not his take. He's not talking about Critical Drinker. Okay, I thought it was. But still poisoning the well.
The Oscars, Hollywood's annual dick-sucking contest where overpaid, overhyped, and overconfident actors and directors fly in.
Okay, first off, with this beginning, he's not wrong. He's genuinely not wrong with this at the beginning.
I tend to agree with that too. I think the Oscars are, giving people awards for doing something extraordinary is, can be a morale boost and can improve what you're doing, but it definitely become more of a self-congratulating system. And gotten really bad. I mean, except for that one time where it got good with Chris Rock and Will Smith.
It is. I pretty much had to study the Oscars for a couple of years for the newspaper, and yeah, it did come off very dick sucky, circle jerky, very much so. And I'm not saying like the people who got awards didn't deserve them. We got some incredibly talented artists who get Oscars, but yeah, it's very circle jerky, absolutely.
In on their private jets and take to the stage in $10,000 dresses to pat themselves on the back and lecture the unwashed masses about the evils of capitalism, pollution, and the dreaded Orange Man.
Yes. Artists typically are going to be on the left side of the political spectrum because that's where a lot of creativity comes from. Sorry to break.
That's incredibly bad faith. Everyone on each side can be incredibly creative. It doesn't matter what side you are on. It matters how creative it matters how, for one, good you are. Because creativity by itself, is a merit, but quality is just as important as if not more. But Hollywood, there's a lot less people in Hollywood because I would say, for one, it may sound bad. But a lot of people in Hollywood hadn't really experienced any hardship. Obviously not. I mean, there are a great many people that have endured real hardship in Hollywood. And I think hardship can definitely mold your opinion. And like the idea that everyone should have equal wages and stuff like that is a nice thing to think about, but it's not realistic. I don't know.
Break it to you, Critical Drinker. I know your trailer was like the most creative trailer I've ever seen in my life. It wasn't cliche at all, but yeah, most creative people are lefties.
I don't know I don't know what politics had to do with it. Politics doesn't have to do with anything. Doesn't have to have anything to do with creativity.
And also, let's face it, we had 4 years of Donald Trump. It was a fucking wreck. Joe Biden doesn't thrill me.
Trump here's my take. Trump definitely opened his mouth too much and said a lot of fiery stuff, but he did good stuff for the UN. Everyone's supposed to put the equal amount, I believe, at 2.5% of their annual defense budget into the UN defense budget, and not every country that was in the UN was doing that, so we did that. I think the wall is a good thing because I think you should protect your borders. You don't want people walking into your house randomly. Why can't you do the same thing with a country? But whatever.
I want 4 more years of Joe Biden, but I want 4 more years of Donald Trump, even fucking less.
Same thing.
So if they're going to use their platform to say fuck Trump, frankly, good on them. Good on them.
I mean, I would rather be even-handed. I believe in being fair. Yes, he did say a lot of inflammatory stuff, but he did a lot of good stuff too. Whether it weighs out, whether one overweights the other, I don't know. I personally think if we had 4 more years of Donald Trump, Russia wouldn't attack Ukraine. I think, and Putin has alluded to this. I remember seeing a clip with him. He said, he said something along the lines, he wouldn't have attacked Ukraine under Donald Trump. And I think a big part of that is you don't know what Trump is going to do, and that can be a benefit and a curse. But I don't think he really would have, pressed the button or anything like that. But there is some benefit to that.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man.
It's become a complete joke in recent years that the Academy Awards are a kind of crumbling monument to the hubris of Hollywood, a gaudy, irrelevant, and kind of disgusting spectacle of excess and arrogance at a time when the average...
I do find it interesting. You said about that picture of Amy Schumer, but these chuds can't handle Amy Schumer. Ignoring the fact that most...
Why are they chuds? I would like you to say why they're chuds, not just say it, Explain why they're chuds.
People aren't really thrilled with Amy Schumer to begin with, but okay.
American is having to decide between food or heating each month, and the only thing that managed to stir...
Okay.
Yeah, and that too. Obviously, a lot of people in Hollywood, a lot richer people in Hollywood haven't had to deal with, worrying about food or power.
The issues with our economy are issues, absolutely. But trying to yes, and a lot of the people in Hollywood live quite a bit better than a lot of your average person. True. But again, you're comparing millionaires to, your average person, and there's a difference. But there's also a difference between millionaires and billionaires. So millionaires can change the lives of individual people.
He's not talking about that, though. Let's go to what he actually said.
But again,
thing that managed to stir...
Okay. So really thrilled with Amy Schumer to begin with, but okay.
American is having to decide between food or heating each month, and the only thing that managed to stir...
Okay.
I mean, I wish
the issues with our economy,
but he's talking about people having to determine whether they want food or power this much. He's not talking about the difference between billionaires and millionaires, and really, they don't have the same. They're not even comparable. They don't even have an issue compared to poor people, and that's critical drinker problem with the Oscars and with Hollywood in general. They can't. It's people who can't relate patting themselves on the back.
Are issues, absolutely, but trying to yes, and a lot of the people in Hollywood live quite a bit better than a lot of your average person. True. But again, you're comparing millionaires to, your average person, and there's a difference. But there's also a difference between millionaires and
Krieger Drinker talking about the average person had bigger problems or more important things than the Oscars.
Billionaires. So millionaires can change the lives of individual people. Billionaires can change the world.
Well,
the problem,
it depends on what their money tied up in. It all depends.
is
just saying billionaires can change the world. Is that true? But there's a lot more factors.
You're far more likely to find millionaires changing the lives of individual people than billionaires changing the world. In fact, you can actually look and find tons of examples of a lot of these actors probably at this Oscar ceremony who do little things that, get people houses,
That's true too.
Do charity fundraisers, do stuff like that. You can probably find tons of examples, way more than you can find of billionaires.
And it's true, but it's a spectrum,
actually using their resources to save the world. So it just comes off as weird and incredibly.
But you kind of missed the point.
dishonest that you're
Sorry.
whining about millionaires when the real issue with the world is billionaires buying laws
Sorry, somebody just walked in.
to fuck over the middlemen, essentially. The middlemen and below. So, really interesting.
Or even a vague flutter of interest was watching Will Smith lose his mind and make an absolute clown out of himself a couple of years ago.
True. I will give him that. That was wild. Will
Yeah.
Smith.
I would say that was wild, but the signs were there about Will Smith anyway.
Not cool, man. Not cool at all.
Hope she appreciated you ruining one of the biggest nights of your career for her, bro.
So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. The Oscars might be a spent force in terms of the White
Do we need to dive into the Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith stuff? Because
Yeah, we do, because this is the point Critical Drinker is making about the Oscars, and that happened at the Oscars.
frankly don't give a flying
Well-
fuck. I don't. They can live their lives however they fucking want.
Well, that is true, but it's the point that Critical Drinker is making about the Oscars. It happened at the Oscars. He doesn't care if you don't care. Other people may care, and is to support its point.
I do think it gets annoying how often they're out there. And apparently Jada Smith has like a podcast where she just like lets all this shit air. And frankly, I don't listen to it because I don't fucking care. And
Well, it doesn't matter if you don't care.
be shocked to learn it's pretty easy to ignore if you don't fucking listen to it. Just saying.
Well, I think just ignoring something that's happening is not the way to solve something.
wider public perception, but it is still a useful barometer for the current state of the industry. Because make no mistake, the movies that get nominated and eventually bag the trophy are carefully chosen to reflect what Hollywood values at that particular time. The speech.
So what is he gonna argue that the movies that win awards aren't actually good and just are
No, he's arguing that the awards are rigged.
woke or something? Is that that really sounds like his argument right now? So listen, rarely.
I am live streaming if you were. Do you need some help? Yeah, those are clean.
Does the best movie of the year win Best Picture? But also, it's incredibly rare when the best movie of the movie that wins Best Movie of the Year is bad, like remotely close to bad. It's usually quite good.
Cheese and the monologues and the little comedy.
He wasn't even saying it. Herger Drinker wasn't even saying it good or not. It just doesn't reflect the values that most people agree with. Or they don't have good values. And that's what Hollywood pushes.
Bits that they decide to drop in give away little hints about how the industry views itself. And let's be honest, it hasn't exactly been a bumper year for Hollywood, which is still trying to recover from a disastrous period of strikes and high-profile flops.
And pandemic. You guys always ignore the fucking pandemic. It's still recovering from the pandemic.
What about the stuff that was made after the pandemic? That wouldn't have been affected by it. Those movies are still not making money. Still losing money. Yeah, they're poorly written and poorly made. Sometimes really poorly made. Or having off for CGI.
You do realize part of the side effect is, to qualify for Oscars, you have to be in the theater for a certain amount of time. but it's becoming less and less valuable to be in a theater because so much.
I don't know if that's true or not. Let's just say it is. And a part of the qualification to get an Oscar is you have to have a black person in your movie. That's some serious racism there. It's called racism of low expectations. Something like that. Something in that order.
Much is just going to streaming so quickly, and you put a movie in a theater and it will disappear very shortly because it's coming to streaming, and nobody's going to go to a theater and watch it because it's coming to streaming.
Explosion of the lucrative superhero genre, a growing backlash against the message, an increasing public.
Yeah, just whenever he says the message, he's just saying woke. I just want to make that clear. And it's a way. It's what's the term?
I mean, could you define your version of woke? Because there are a couple different definitions of woke.
It is a thought-canceling cliche. You don't have to think about what this term means. Oh, it's bad because the message. It doesn't mean anything. It's abused.
Well, if you watch Kruger Drinker enough, you know what he means, right? So he doesn't have to explain. He doesn't have to explain himself every single time.
Like awareness of the corruption and generally shitty behavior inside the industry. Not to mention the prospect of a divisive election year and the dreaded Orange Man returning to the White House.
Yeah, dude. Trump handled COVID so monstrously bad. It was insane how terrible he handled COVID. I do not want to experience that again. And if you're okay with that says a lot more about you than anything else.
Were they going to come out swinging, or were they?
Yeah, no, I think Chuck Wood here, Chuck Wood III. Best movie of the year is a very subjective idea, Bob. One person will have a very different opinion from another on what the best movie of the year is. This is true. This is like art is subjective. When you go in and watch a piece of art, you're taking a lot of your personal biases and life experience.
Okay. I couldn't pause for a second. Okay. From what I remember, I'm not keeping up with politics that much. From what I remember, Trump rolled in a bunch of policies that were really good, like getting the ventilators. You know, they the ventilators were getting to people faster. People were getting more shots. But a lot of that stuff was rolled back when Biden came into office. Jesus Christ, I couldn't pause it.
Experiences with you. So yeah, a lot of it is pretty fucking subjective.
Are they going to cower in a corner and retreat to their happy place while the rest of the world has its brutal way with them? Well, there was definitely some weird moments that left me scratching my head last night, like having John Cena walk out on stage butt naked to present an awards. Jesus.
To present an award. What award did he present, Will Jordan? What award was it?
That doesn't matter to his point. I mean, I didn't watch it.
Cutting out a key piece of fucking context, bro.
That's not key context. John Cena made a bad joke about, oh, I'm naked, I forgot my costume. I don't think it's very funny.
It was the fucking costume award, bro.
Yeah. But it's a horrible joke. That's its point. It become very stale.
That was the fucking
naked man, very funny.
Joke. He gave out the award for best costumes in a movie, and he didn't have a costume.
The point is, I already said,
silly fucking joke, but it's literally a joke. And I think it's interesting that you're like, he's just giving out a random award, butt naked for some reason. It's kind of obvious when you know the joke.
He didn't
It's like
say
some weird
that.
hazing ritual from an Ivy League university, except this is one fraternity that no sane person would.
Okay, yeah. Harvey Weinstein, who is in prison where he should be because he's a monster, and Jeffrey Epstein, who's dead because he should be. He's a monster. And I'm not going to get into the details of how he mysteriously committed suicide because it's very sus. It is very sus. But the fact is, these
I
are
was wondering if I was like, did he think it wasn't sus or was sus? I don't think Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. But there's a lot of people that worked under Epstein that are still in Hollywood, like the lady that works for Star Wars now. I forget her name. She was the head secretary for Jeffrey Epstein.
there are two people who are monsters who aren't involved with the Academy Awards, at least not anymore. I mean, maybe Harvey Weinstein was at a time. He was a
Point is, there are still really bad people and still awful stuff happening in Hollywood. Like, there are more and more, like, former child actors that are coming out saying, hey, I was made to do things as a child.
was a big wig in Hollywood, which is why when the shit came out about him, he got kicked out, and frankly, he's in prison now where he belongs. Yeah.
Want to join. Also, I think I speak for every straight man on the planet when I say that Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, Dean. How his costume is kind of his muscles. You're not wrong. Yeah, that is kind of at least part of his persona.
Absolutely should have done that bit.
I mean, I wonder if John Cena is natural. What's he like, 46 now? I wonder if he's natty.
Instead, then there was.
So, like, he will admire Sydney Sweeney's boobs and then complain that John Cena's naked. It seems like an interesting double standard.
It's a bad joke and saying, hey,
the elderly
I like
and
this looking women. Jesus Christ. Sorry, my internet just horrible today, apparently.
Really confused Al Pacino, who stumbled through his Best Picture speech like he literally just got woken up and shoved out onto the stage with no prep time. Honestly,
he probably didn't prep for it. He probably didn't care that much. He's probably done it before. And frankly, I haven't.
Well, that's not a good thing. You should be professional. You should have, when you're coming to something, when you're doing an event like that, you should be, like, ready on the ball.
Seen it, but Al Pacino could probably sell it because he's fucking Al Pacino. He's a goddamn legend.
Probably sell it, so you don't know if he could or not. I'd like you to be definitive.
what happened to guys like him and De Niro? They used to be the most.
De Niro is pretty boldly anti-Trump, and good on him. Good on him. I mean, I'm noticing lots of artists are.
I mean, could you say why that's good? Explain your. I mean, when you're making.
Now it's Trump Biden again, lots of artists are being much more vocal about being anti-Trump than they were in 2016 and even 2020 because they just don't want to fucking deal with it again. I think Steve Martin almost does a daily post.
Steve Martin. All right. There's a man running the GOP. I don't think Trump wants to be the dictator of America.
On Twitter, talking about how do not vote for Trump, do not vote for Trump, do not vote for
I think that's horrible because I don't think you should be telling people who to vote for and who not to vote for. I think that should be your own opinion. You should explain why I'm voting for Trump, and if I can convince you, I convince you. But telling someone, hey, this person's bad, this person's good, vote for this person.
For Trump. I think it's
Voting for the person to be elected into the office is a very personal thing.
interesting how everybody wants to put on rose-tinted glasses for the Trump presidency, but it was literally every day was some sort of fucking disaster at the White House. He did something dumb or selfish. He fucked around with a world leader. It was insane. And as much as I am not thrilled with Biden, at least it's not fucking that. At least it's not, gee whiz, I wonder if this just completely sycophantic, self-involved narcissist will blow up the entire fucking world today.
I don't think he would have ever done that.
I would rather not
What's a
have
chud?
that.
Most awesome.
Yeah, if I knew the word. 1 second. Okay, chud. You think people are cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers? The title of... No, that's just the title of the movie. Chud or chud with an E is a term historically applied in the early Eastern Slavic annals to several Baltic Finnic peoples in the area of what is now Estonia, Karelian. I have to go to Wikipedia for the rest. Applied. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's what they mean. He means anyway. I think I got the wrong one, but that's okay.
Awesome and respected actors in the business. Now they're just sad and embarrassing old men who should have retired years ago. On the plus.
Well, I mean, that's up to them. I actually haven't seen Pacino in a movie in a little bit. Is he still acting? He might be mostly retired.
Yeah, the last one he was in, Once Upon a Time the last one he was in was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I believe.
And as for De Niro, he was just in Killers of the Flower Moon, where he fucking did a fantastic job. So I don't know why
I've never seen it, so
he would retire. He can retire whenever he wants. He's still got it.
Side, Michael Keaton had a nice little moment with Danny DeVito. Still got it, bro. And since pretty much the entire world has jumped on...
Oh, so you got that joke, but you missed the John Cena joke. Okay.
No, what the fuck? No, he didn't miss the joke. It was just a horrible joke.
Okay, great.
The fuck Madam Web bandwagon, they even found a little time to join in.
Without sound, we wouldn't have been able to use such classic lines as, "You're gonna need a bigger boat. I'll have what she's having." And he was in the Amazon with my mother when she was researching spiders just before she died.
Because when even the
Okay, that was pretty funny. And dude, like, nobody likes Madam Web. Nobody likes it. It's not a win for the anti-woke. It's a bad movie.
stars of the...
Well, if it's a bad movie and it's woke, it would be a win for the anti-woke. But my internet is gonna die, so I will continue this video later. Okay, like, subscribe, and comment.